what do I really ask for this movie? Like, I wasn't even that upset when I saw like 50, like 40 something percent. I was like, whatever. I just want to watch Godzilla punch Ghidorah in the face. I don't really care.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and I've been hyping this movie up for almost a year. So Godzilla, King of the Monsters is the sequel to 2014's Godzilla movie. My opinions on that movie, I've reviewed it, but I really like that movie. That's actually risen to probably be one of my favorite disaster movies because disaster movies aren't even that good. Like, most of them don't know how to do disaster movie because they don't develop the characters. The plot is really rushed, and it's just action now, so it's alright, I guess, but it sucks anyway. That is really my problem with disaster movies, but Godzilla found this balance to really give this awesome build-up to the final battle, and nonetheless give us interesting enough characters and a plot that I found interesting and general ideas that I found interesting. So yeah, that movie didn't have to be just some dumb monster movie where monsters punch each other in the face. It gave development. It gave substance to Godzilla. And the other movie in the Monsterverse, King Kong Skull Island, I liked it. I didn't love it by any means. I thought it was entertaining enough. It was really what I asked for. It was a big monster movie. Didn't really have all that strong of a plot, not even really a memorable movie, but it was entertaining and I got to watch Kong punch monsters in the face. But I've been hyped for this movie for a while. Since Comic-Con 2018 is really when I got super hyped. But I really got really interested in this movie when I saw Godzilla 1. And so once I heard that Kong and Godzilla were in the same universe, I was like, really? Well, that's cool. So I went and I watched Godzilla. I really enjoyed it, and I got really interested in the monster, in the whole Godzilla lore. This is only a year ago, and I actually started getting interested, and I learned about how King of the Monsters was going to have Rodan, Ghidorah, and Mothra all in the same movie. And I was thinking, is that a bit much for the movie? And I'll explain if it is a bit much for the movie, but another thing I was really excited for was there was a specific poster that they released. I just really made me really hyped. And it was this one poster, I want to show it, but I don't think I'll be able to find it. And it just says Godzilla 2 at the top. It shows a picture, it shows like an ancient drawing of a moth, and it just says, God help us all. And it just likes that. It just felt epic to me, and I was like, ooh, this is going to be cool. And then Comic-Con, we got to see the actual freaking trailer, which I reacted to, and I was like, oh my god, that looks awesome. Saw a second trailer, was also awesome. Third trailer, also awesome. I've been hyped for this movie for a while, because I love Godzilla. I love all these characters. Honestly, this really does feel like a Godzilla fans movie. Like, there's so much to this movie that, like, I was like, ooh, I like that. I like learning about Monarch. I like learning about this world. I like the world they set up. I'm excited to see what they do next. But I'm first really going to break down the barriers of the really problems with the movie, because there are a crap ton of problems. Unfortunately, there's a lot of problems with this movie. Right off the gate, the characters aren't very good. I liked Millie Bobby Brown, whose character, some people said they forgot it. No, it's Madison, and I remember that's her name. But she's like the daughter of these two people, and I liked her. I thought I just like Millie Bobby Brown, I guess. So she's just a likable character. The rest of them, boring. None of them were interesting. I mean, none of them were just likable. It wasn't like The Silence, which is some stupid horror movie I watched on Netflix, which I'll review soon in a multi-review. But I watched this movie called The Silence, and in it, I was like, whatever, kill the characters. I don't care. This movie sucks. But this movie, I didn't hate the characters. I thought they were alright. I guess I thought they were boring and they were not very well written. Most of the dialogue in this movie sucks. Like, there's some really dumb lines in this movie like that. Oh my god, another person, Zilla. Like, that line, I hate that line. Most of this movie has bad dialogue. And as a whole, there's a lot of really disappointing action in this movie. Like, the thing I'm going to remember this movie is not the action, because honestly, the action in the first Godzilla is miles better, because the action in that movie felt a lot more grand and epic when they punched each other. It felt big and real. This movie, none of the actions feels like gigantic or anything. Some of it does, but there's this big fight where we see the big shot. We see it in the trailer where it shows Godzilla here and Ghidorah here, and it's just kind of just showing them, and they're both just like getting ready to battle. And I was like thinking in the scene, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. And I thought, what the frick is going on? Like, they're just punching each other. It's really gray. You can't see anything. There's snow. They're just punching each other. I had no idea what was going on. But there are a lot of really epic reveals this week. So we have a hype up for the battles that I really like. There's some times where I'm like, oh, this is what I want. Like, it was really epic to me. There are a couple fights where Ghidorah rises up, Godzilla rises up, and you get to see them clash, and it was cool. Seeing Ghidorah, it was really cool. Most of the special effects, never the special effects were bad. They were all amazing in this movie, but that's a given. I think that all the action in this movie, for me, I really dug most of the action in this movie. But a lot of the action is really incoherent, so that's the problem. But yeah, I did get to see Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah. There's actually not all that much Mothra in this movie. There's a good amount of Rodan. It's mainly Ghidorah and Godzilla. Ghidorah is mainly the main monster in this movie. Like, yeah, it's Godzilla's the protagonist, but Ghidorah is really throughout this entire movie. This movie feels a lot like Godzilla, the original. Godzilla's not, like, even in this movie. Like, some people are like, more Godzilla, and yeah, this movie really does spread out the action more instead of having it all concentrated at the end, which I liked more than the original Godzilla. The action in this movie is more spread out and more scattered out. But, I don't know, it felt a bit like most of that Godzilla stuff in this movie. There wasn't even all that much Godzilla in it. Like, there's probably exact amount of screen time in this movie of Godzilla as there was in the last one. And I think at the second act of this movie, they really slow it down because they're getting ready for the third act. And they're like, okay, we're getting ready for this third act. They're really slowing it down at this point. And that part of the movie, I could have gone a lot faster for me. More problems with this movie is that the plot is just messy. It just is. Most of the plot in this movie is quite messy. There's a lot of times this movie really rushes itself. I am very confused at some of the decisions. Like, I'm like, wait, why is that there? Why did that happen? Why? Because they want to rush by. Because they don't want to dive into everything, but they have to have their own little excuse. They want to do this certain thing, and they have to write their own excuse out, but the own excuse just opens up all these questions. I'm going to make a spoiler review for this movie because I have so many questions. I kind of want to address them in a spoiler review. There are a lot of times where I thought, wait, what? What? So yeah, a lot of the plot's incoherent, but haven't really described what my opinions on this movie are. This is a Godzilla fans movie, so this is by no means a good movie in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to give it a bad rating, but I don't think this is by any means a good movie. But I had a good time, because what did I ask for? I didn't ask for good character development. I have the same thing here with the Meg, where it's like, criticize the movie all you want. Call it boring, call it stupid, so then the plot sucks. But really, at its core, I enjoyed it. I thought the plot was cool. I thought seeing the monsters was cool. So you can't really make me dislike this movie. I might one day dislike this movie, but I actually thought when I was watching it, I like seeing the progression of these monsters. I like seeing the backstories of these monsters. I like seeing how they found these monsters. I find mythology interesting. I find that mysterious ancient things interesting. Combine that with awesome gigantic monsters punching each other, which generally is a pleasure of mine. So combine them together, you have a good movie. The problem with this movie is that it maybe have that, yeah, that has all that stuff to it. So I should love this movie. But I'm a fan of film before I'm a fan of Godzilla and mythology and all that stuff. So then all those filmmaking problems and all that really rushed plot, all those really rushed characters and all these really confusing dialogue and whatnot really bogs down the movie to not being anything really great to me. Would I say it's good? Yeah, I'd say it's good. It's definitely great. Not nowhere near great, but it's, I guess, good. There's actually a couple, unfortunately, unintentionally funny moments in this movie. There's a scene where Ghidorah, like, gets up after being hit and one of the heads goes up, and it does, like, an Office-style zoom on him, and I know it wasn't supposed to be funny, but I just burst out laughing. It was hilarious to me, because it's just like, it seemed like an Office-style laugh. Office-style zoom, and I think it'd actually be funny if I made a video that was basically The Office, but I just called King of the Monsters. Like, it would do the Office intro, but it'd say King of the Monsters instead. Like, I think that'd actually be funny. Like, come on. We put the zooms in there, it'd be hilarious, come on. This movie's badly written. It really isn't well written. It's very rushed and very not clean. Am I disappointed by this movie? That's really the main question. Did you get disappointed, MTS? Not really, because when I saw that trailer at Comic-Con, I didn't think I'm going to get to see beautiful plot, amazing choreographed action. I saw a trailer and I thought, I was like, I want to see that. I want to watch the progression of these characters. I want to learn about these monsters, and I want to see them fight each other. That's what I got. I exactly got what I wanted. Really all it comes down to is I like the mystery. I like the mystery of these monsters. I like the learning about them. I like seeing what they are, what their abilities are. It's just cool. It kind of feels like a video game to me. Like, I like learning about these elements of the movie. And the action combines with that to make a really enjoyable movie. But the problems is that this movie is not very well written. So if they just tried harder to write it well, maybe I would have liked this movie a lot more. But I didn't love this movie, and I didn't even really like it all that much because it's just badly written. It's just bad writing here. This is on par with The Meg for me, unfortunately, because The Meg was a really, really, really stupid movie. That was stupid, but it was fun. It was just fun. It just knew it was stupid and committed to it. This movie, it's like, doesn't really know it's stupid, but it doesn't really necessarily commit. But then there's that awesome action. There was all that stuff in it, so I guess there's good here. The guy from the original that's literally only there to say awesome lines is back in this movie, and I guess he says awesome lines. I liked him when he says Godzilla. Like, he says that line the best, and I liked his character. He's probably actually my favorite character in these movies thus far. Most of the cinematography in here is great. Like, most of it's pretty good. Like, sometimes it's really close up. A lot of the action's, like, way too close to the monsters, but a couple times I think they distanced it out fine, and I can know what was happening. The third act is where the action's best. Anytime in the middle, whatever. There's literally, like, 2 fights of Ghidorah versus Godzilla in the middle, and there's one epic third act with the 2 fighting. And Rodan's has a fight in the middle, and stuff like that. There's one fight in the middle that I genuinely there's one action scene in the middle that I was like, ooh, this is actually really intense. It's actually really good. And I'm really excited to tell you guys about it. The scale of these monsters was cool. The interesting learning about it was cool. As a whole, I liked this movie. It could have been far better. It could have been way better. This could have been really good. You had the material, and they were like, okay, let's rush to this action. Let's just see all this big stuff. When really, there's a lot of times where you could have taken out dialogue of the scenes, shortened down those scenes, expanded on other ideas, maybe get the same fine runtime of this movie, and you would have had a cohesive, really good movie. Instead, they made the decision to make their really rushed plot, really confusing characters, just stuff like that as a whole. So I didn't dislike this movie. I assume all of you will have a great time watching it. And as a whole, I didn't have a bad time at all. I was never bored. I enjoyed it a lot more when I watched it. I was thinking while watching this is 8 out of 10. This is really cool. But when I walked out of it, I thought, okay, that's not really 8 out of 10. It has a lot of filmmaking problems. But as a whole, not really disappointed because I got what I wanted, I guess. I got what I wanted and nothing else. Like, I went into this movie like, can I just see Godzilla punch Ghidorah in the face? And I watched Godzilla punch Ghidorah in the face. And that was all I got. Like, that was just all I got. And that disappointed me. I wanted to see more character development, more things like that. Fortunately, this movie just didn't give that to me. But also be nice, and I will give Godzilla King of the Monsters a 6 out of 10. I was kind of jumping back between 6 and 7, which means this movie's worse than Kong, unfortunately, but I'm settling at 6. And no, I am actually still really excited to see what Kong has in store. Maybe after Kong, we can just kind of end this universe. Because where will we go next? Honestly, I guess you could say this is only the Avengers of it all. But no, this could have just been like a nice four really cool monster movies that all of them I liked. As long as Kong is good, which I have faith that hopefully they can. Maybe if they listen to the criticism this movie got, maybe they'll make it good. But who knows, maybe they'll make some crappy, stupid movie that I don't like at all. But I don't know. What did you guys think on Godzilla King of the Monsters? Let me know in the comment section below. I know DJ will find it boring, but I don't care at all. I know most of my favorite critics didn't really like this movie, but I don't really care. I do have one question, though, guys. Why don't we do this? Ready? Well, never mind. Actually, I don't know why I said that. First off, one thing I'm just going to say. Next week is Dark Phoenix. I'm going to review every X-Men movie this week. The week after is MIB. That's reviews. I'm going to make a 4-way review with 4 movies. I'm not telling you what 4 yet, because I don't know what 4 they will be, but I've seen 2, and I'm going to see 2 more in Redbox very soon, and I'll review all 4 of them in a big bundle so I can use 4 reviews in one video. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.